Russia's war on Ukraine, our next focus, as we hear this morning from one of the subjects of a new documentary on the war. It's called Freedom on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom, and it screened last week at the International Security Forum in Halifax. Just a little taste there, and one of the women who's featured in the doc survived more than 2 months, trapped in a steel plant with her infant son. Her name is Anna Zaitseva, and her husband was last seen defending that plant. We reported on it so often over that 2-month period. Murray Brewster is our senior defense reporter. Not only has he seen the documentary, he has met that woman, that central character. Tell us about Anna and meeting her and talking to her, Murray. Good morning.
Good morning, Heather. And yes, it is an incredible story of survival. So imagine for a moment a 26-year-old French language teacher going about her daily life with her husband, who's a steel worker, and then the Russian invasion happens. Her husband joins the local National Guard unit. She goes and shelters within the underground confines of the steel plant. And that's when the Russians began to encircle her hometown, Mariupol, and pound it relentlessly. We've all seen the images. And her husband was a defender of the Mariupol plant, and she only had an opportunity to see him twice during the 65 days that she was underground. The last time they saw each other was the day that Mariupol was actually encircled, and we'll let her pick up the story.
I saw him 11th of March. It was only for 5 minutes, and Mariupol was about to be in a circle, to be occupied, and he knew it already. I asked him if I would have a possibility to see him again, and he was just keeping silent. He looked at me directly. He said to me that he loves me, and he was gone.
Now, that was the last time that they've seen each other. Anna managed to get out of Mariupol through a humanitarian corridor, but she was sent through a Russian filtration camp where she was interrogated by FSB, which is the Russian security service, and she was also strip searched during that time. And her husband was captured when the Azovstal steel plant fell on May 17th, and she's not heard from him since.
And how has all of this changed her, Murray?
You can't go through something like that without being marked or scarred. And I really do think that she is still processing the experience that she's been through. But I think it's best for we hear it in her words.
You know, I can say that half of me is dead already, and it was killed in Azovstal steel plant. I had a concussion because one of the rockets was directly fallen on our shelter. And during 65 days, I had this thought that I could be dead. My son could be dead. And definitely, I'm a new person now. Maybe I'm stronger, but definitely right now I have this power in me to fight for the people who are right now voiceless, who are right now in captivity, to fight right now for the children who are taken by force to Russia. And I think this is not the experience that I want somebody to have, but this is maybe somehow the experience that I have to have. This is like a purpose of my life right now.
Now, she is also living as a refugee in Berlin and has been interviewed many times by the international media to tell her story. Her husband is in captivity in Russia. He was a soldier before before joining the local National Guard unit and before becoming a steel worker at the Azovstal plant. He joined the Azov regiment, which has been accused of being far right. And so therefore, he is going to be remaining in custody because he's not been part of any prisoner swaps between Ukraine and Russia thus far.
Murray, thank you for all of that. Our senior defense reporter, Murray Brewster. Again, the documentary out, which Anna figures prominently in, and Murray's written some more about her story, which is online this morning. CBCNews.ca. Thanks.